Let's find out.
We're getting right on into it. Game number 1. And look at the picks from Boomie Sandstorm. It's going to be the Shell and the Reno going up against that Dalsim and Black Knight from Godly Fozey.
I am very, very interested in this team composition. Okay, so Godly and Fozey, this is what we saw them do so well in Spring Championship, with Godly getting those 2 gold medals in both singles and in doubles with his teammate Fozey. But Boomie and Sandstorm, like we were talking about before, love having these really unique picks that they bring up for specific tournaments. And Sandstorm on the Shell, which is Teska, and then Boomie on the Reno, which traditionally we only see him play in singles. Gets the D-Light recovery, gets the first strike on the Fozey here in game number 1, as they're setting up for a team combo. Godly doesn't even need to pick up recovery. No D-Light before, it doesn't matter. 2 knockouts going out to Boomie's Reno here right at the beginning of game number 1.
And Fozey not able to hit the dare, trying to trade out the side air. Still not enough to take down Sandstorm here, but the recovery off of Godly still not enough. Red team can't finish stocks.
Oh man, yeah, that cider comes through, and it's still not enough. Boomie makes it back on Demon Island, gets the nair, gets the recovery, and Sandstorm up there with the alley-oop to get the boots nair onto him. Finally, Boomie and Sandstorm are wiped off the board, and even though they got a lot of extra credit, it's not so dire that Godly and Fozey can't bring it back, and they see Boomie letting go of his iframes there with an attack right away, damage him several times, gets the cider, brings it back on the stage, and Godly looking for that neutral light to continue the damage, and Godly and Boomie are both fighting into the skies. Okay, they just both agree to disagree on that team combo starter there.
That's the polite response to that one. You know, we'll agree to disagree. Weapon toss comes out from Godly, trying to stop that from being too much, but Fozey gets caught by the end sig. Boomie sets up. Sandstorm not quite able to hit that recovery, but blue team still managing to keep this damage lead as Sandstorm is basically untouched here.
Oh, he clears everyone off the board with a double knock on the neutral signature. This is a super popular thing that's very specific to Reno, where off of Blaster's sidelight or neutral light, you could go for a hard dodge and place read if you just put the neutral sig out at a slight delay. And Boomie's already succeeded with that twice now. He does go down. They could get Sandstorm here. Fozey repositioning with the Lance side air. They go back over to the Boomie instead of edgeguarding Sandstorm there, and some damage comes in on both the blue team's members. They're still keeping this close.
Yeah, I mean, red team definitely knows that if they can get this team play up onto Boomie, then they have a real opportunity to bring this one back, because right now, if they focus down Sandstorm, Boomie's just going to run wild on top of them. Neutral light sets up. Fozey's doing a great job getting these follow-ups off of Godly, but they're not quite leading to much.
Yeah, that cider ends up hitting Godly. Godly goes super deep into the red, and Fozey, I mean, we know that he's incredible in the 1v2s. And there's actually a good chance here, because Boomie's as vulnerable as Godly is right now. Downlight and a neutral light, and that's not going to lead into any knockouts. And Boomie does outspace one attack, but not the second side signature. Sandstorm gets team combo, D-Light cider. Godly goes in for the edge guard. He's going to trade a stock for this, and he doesn't even have to. D-Light ground pound means that Godly and Fozey have the 1v2 against Sandstorm, but the damage is in a way where I feel like it could be either team's game still, Duke.
I mean, it's Sandstorm we're talking about. Again, one of the greatest Brawlhalla players of all time, but he's got a 1v2 against Godly and Fozey, who are at their peak. They've got all the weapons. They've got all of the control of the stage, and Sandstorm's got nothing to his name right now besides a wall that he's managing to get away from.
Oh, and Godly waits for the dare, gets the stuff recovery. The ground pound from Fozey clears the side of the wall, and Godly and Fozey bring it back from a game that by all means they were at a deficit with the entire time. And much to my surprise, those damage numbers, they were quite low for the blue team. I think Sandstorm had 362 on him, and even though they were really far ahead, those stocks were being taken really early.
Yeah.
I think Boomie got all 4 of the knockouts at the very beginning of the game.
They were incredibly efficient with getting those stocks taken out, right? Like, they were not struggling at any point. You see the red team starting to get into the red, and the blue team's like, all right, time to get that KO. Meanwhile, the red team struggled a little bit. You're going to see those numbers be a little bit higher as they were trying to take down these stocks off this blue team. But at the end of the day, like, once they started realizing, you know what, we got to just go for this follow-up game, let Godly do these setups, and let Fozey go for the follow-ups, they started to really find their footing.
I really loved how relentless Godly was with the pressure there, really trusting that Fozey was going to be able to have his back, even if that offstage engagement went wire. And look at that, Boomie doing the most damage for his team, but also like burning out the fastest on his team as well. They're going back to Demon Island for game number 2 here, and the team compositions are exactly the same. Let's see how this plays out here, because if Fozey and Godly start off with a lead, I worry that Boomie and Sandstorm are even going to be able to take a game off of this team.
Well, they're definitely going to try, as Godly's starting to get some axe damage built up. Definitely looked like a very gauntlet-heavy game in that last one, but axe time. Neutral sig catches Boomie. Just a slight misposition.
Nice neutral light, but punished by the falling Sarah from Godly. Means Sandstorm has to play help with this edge guard here. Boomie goes into the ground pound, and Fozey goes right around it, but nice recovery into recovery. Sandstorm following up off of Boomie's wins. Can Godly get this knockout here? Everybody's taking to the skies, and that fast fall into the down stick actually gets clipped, and Boomie barely makes it back.
Side sig from Sandstorm thrown out. No punish, no hit on either side. Lots of people getting into the red. Who's going to get the first stock? It's Fozey. No, it was Godly with that recovery.
Oh, nice spot dodge with the side sig, but that's the weakness of Tesca, right? You hit these moves, you have all this time for that active input, but in a doubles environment, that's that 2 seconds that your opponent can react. Get that axe sidelight, stop you from getting the knockout. And Fozey's still surviving after that unarmed nair comes through.
Fozey's still holding on. Both red team members deep red on their initial stocks. Boomie, first one to fall, but he'll take down Godly now.
Nice.
Another one? Yup.
Double falling Sair on both sides. Godly and Fozey going for some high risk, high reward plays, but the risk mitigated by the fact that they were so far ahead in stocks. Now evened up, Boomie has to avoid this 1v2, and a nair to recovery means that he's already in red, dude. Side stick hits, and another one of those coming through means Boomie might go down to 1 stock.
They don't care about Boomie, though, as they go for the handoff to the left side, just jump roping over each other. Pogo from Fozey doesn't hit the Sair, but Godly with the recovery keeps that stock advantage for the red team.
I would believe that Reno has 3 defense after watching how fast damage is
be
being
a bug.
racked up. But yeah, it's been really rough for Boomie here in this matchup, as he's been doing an explosive amount of damage, but also his character's just been exploding on the screen. And Sandstorm now, he won with 2 stocks on the team. Boomie already in orange.
Oh!
Nice shot with the dunk, with the neutral signature, not gonna have enough spike. Okay, gets the knockout on the other side. Godly does make it back. Can they clean this up? Nice recovery. Okay, it is the most tentative of leads, Duke.
It's all about Boomie. Can he hold on to this final stock? Because Sandstorm, he's got a second stock to play with. He's good. He's living. Boomie starting to get some double neutralites out as Sandstorm playing that 1v1 against Godly on the left side.
Oh man, and Sandstorm, yeah, winning that 1v1 too. Boomie falls with the side air. Strong hit though, means Fozey can go for this down sig, dash jump ground pound, switches right over to Godly, and Godly gets the Sair. Boomie can survive 0 more of those.
Whoa,
nice dodge.
Can't touch!
But it forced them so far under Demon Island, they never touch the stage. Godly with the down sig for the double knockout. You get hit, that's the perfect spacing on that down signature there to catch Sandstorm off guard. We just saw 2 examples of Fozey and Godly take deep combo, D-light side air.
Oh, where you going?
Godly dodges through it, it doesn't finish it.
I think Fozey was
literally punishes
it.
him for it. He's like, we just got a double knockout of the best highlight ever, man. And now we don't even get it on Sandstorm of all players. That would have been like, oh, would have started his YouTube channel.
my clip, you ruined it.
Downlight. Oh, dude, Sandstorm could bring it back if Godly and Fozey keep dropping this. Like, I was kind of goofing around, but okay.
We're good.
There we go. Godly gets it, gets the falling Sair. Boomie and Sandstorm now at match point here in this winner's round 1. And Godly and Fozey are 1 game away from moving forward over a team that maybe a lot of players were worried about would be upsetting them a lot earlier in the bracket than expected. Because Godly and Fozey are the 2 seed going into Dreamhack San Diego.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, it cannot be understated the legacy that Boomie and Sandstorm have. Again, multi-time world championship 2v2 team, and yet they're kind of getting handled. Godly and Fozey currently up 2-0. Yeah. The fact, like, I think most people would have expected this to go to at least a game 4, maybe a game 5, but right now, Godly Fozey about to put this one away.
Right. Nice dive kick to punish the down sig. The thing that's happening through here is that Sandstorm's just being put in these 1v2s way too soon. And Boomie fighting off stage here. Let's see if he can do it. Dodges through the ground pound. And Godly covers it with the Sair. That was brilliant.
Save?
And Sandstorm just has to make it easier for Boomie to be able to make it back to the stage. And that's the second time that the Demon Island walls betrayed Boomie. And the neutral signature after the D-Light side air perfectly timed means that the first strike, despite it being the second stock, goes over to the red team.
Yo, but the blue team tries to triage there. You saw the setup, caught both red team members, and Sandstorm comes in with a recovery. It just wasn't enough. Downlight recovery, takes one, takes the second one.
Sandstorm actually covers Boomie's back with the gauntlet recovery there, as Godly was trying to interrupt that, save his teammate, and Sandstorm says, no, you don't. Evens up the game, and signs of life with the blue team. D-Light sidelight one direction, Darren the other. Boomie putting on a ton of damage onto the red team's new stocks.
Yeah, I mean, it's signs of life, but they need a lot more than just 1 single heartbeat per minute. They need so much more right now. One heartbeat per minute. Just a little bit.
Oh my goodness. We'll have to wait for the next match for the next one. No, that's a little bit better than this, I think, because this game state is better even than, like, if it was like 1 and 2 versus 1 and 2. Oh no, Boomie, can you make that back?
Hand up.
Oh, God, he doesn't get it. He makes it back. Can Sandstorm get this edge guard here? Puts up the downlight. Sider would have done it. Oh, and it's not going to be enough because of the bounce.
Yo, but he still gets the recovery. Blue team starting to take the lead here.
All right, it's a small lead though. Sider gets it, and Godly somehow
this is the combo.
Has amazing survivability. Not enough to make it back. Boomie's dominating. Godly realized if I put all that effort into coming back, Fozey might go down while I'm spending all that time recovering. Gets a fresh stock here. It is very close still. Cider comes through, edgeguard into the down air here. That's going to be it. No, Fozey barely misspaces the side air, and Sandstorm, any damage Sandstorm gets here is like really, really great for the team.
But at the same time, he's in that spot where like he's going to get launched by every single big hit. But what matters, he takes out Fozey.
I mean, it doesn't matter if you get launched by every single big hit. If you're just getting Fozey's last stock, and then he falls to the nair, ends up hitting it. Okay, that's twice that he missed with this neutral light. Come on, Sandstorm.
You know, he's a 1v1er, all right? He won his 1v1 against Fozey. He's like, I got mine, I'm good.
I got mine, all these team combos, we don't need to hit them. Well, you got to be careful, because it's Godly. If Godly hits, well, actually, this is just a rough.
It's going to take a lot.
It's going to take a bit.
Yeah.
Boomie's really great with these blasters, edge guards too. Sandstorm dodges in place, down air hits. That's not enough knockback, but the weapon toss will be. And Boomie and Sandstorm keep their heads in the game as they take game number 3 and avoid a 3-0 defeat against Godly and Fozey.
Yeah, this one is still very tense one for Boomie and Sandstorm. I'm so used to, like, you know, we've been watching these guys for so long, and after a set or after a game, they're like laughing, they're having a good time, they're just chatting it up. But like right now, this is probably the most serious I've seen Boomie and Sandstorm in the middle of like a winner's round 1
well, I mean,
top 32 match.
It's Godly versus Fozey.
Yeah.
Everything that they're going to have to fight against this is going to be incredibly tough indeed. And I feel like that entire match was actually won off the fact that they didn't finish that Sandstorm edge guard, right?
Yeah.
Sandstorm came back. We were like, he's 1 hit away. Fozey gets hit 5 times by gauntlets and then loses that stock.
He just goes, don't get hit, forehead.
We're finally changing the playing field here, and I think this is much to the benefit of Boomie, because Boomie's now had 2 self-destructs to the wall on the left side of Demon Island, which is a lot harder to do on the Fortress of Lions, not to mention that gives them that platform to play on, and you have that benefit of getting D-Light recovery knockouts there, and Godly and Fozey are actually playing on that platform, and Boomie takes advantage of it. Downline sider hits. Godly takes damage down around to Fozey. Godly tries to go for a punish, and I think so far working out in the blue team's favor, although it is close.
Yeah, no huge swings just yet, but blue team does catch both red team members. Nice side sig from Boomie as the immediate swap over to Godly for the 2v1, but Godly ends up getting a nice punish onto Sandstorm.
Oh, Sair hits. Falling Sair into Fozey. No, Fozey drifts underneath Boomie. Very smart there. Downer doesn't come through, and that's just going to do it. The strong hit of the down sig into the double knockout onto Fozey. 1 for each of the blue team members. Really nicely done.
Yeah, that down sig on the boots from Sandstorm, I wasn't sure if he was going to try to throw it back or if he was going to go straight forward, but ended up going for the bounce that led to the KO. And now blue team with the lead here over the red team, and they've got enough health that they are not going to get taken off just yet.
That neutral signature gets interrupted. Nicely done. Gets him off of the neutral light from the gauntlets, which is now more of a combo starter at any damage amount than ever. Recovery hit's not going to be enough to take down Sandstorm, but 1 more hit might do it. And they might just focus over onto Boomie. Yeah, well, they definitely will now. Godly takes him off stage. Pogo hits, no recovery. Ground pound hits again. Godly dodges in place to mix up the second ground pound follow-up, and Boomie survives.
And Sandstorm comes in, puts some threat out onto Fozey, but decides to try to stick around Boomie there instead of trying to go for that quick edge guard onto Fozey again. Neutral air from Boomie, keeping himself alive, but you can see he knows he's the target as he gets a Sair. Follow-up doesn't need it as Sandstorm takes down Fozey.
I swear that signature is like better if you don't spike with it.
Yeah,
actually,
yeah.
That is incredible, because we saw that neutral signature, we were like, that's it, and he just moved nowhere. And then you bounce off the stage, and all of a sudden you are flying. That's 4 stocks to 2, dude, and it's a 2-to-1 stock situation. Boomie could go down to a Sair here, but he doesn't jump. What's going to happen to Sandstorm?
Manages to avoid the follow-up from Godly. You saw the sideline nair come out from Fozey. There's the setup. There's the Sair from Fozey. Another one, but he's a little too high.
Fozey dropping a few of these so far. The ones that are connecting are going a long way, but this is one of those situations where I'm like, if Boomie gets the stock with that drop conversion, that's what the game was decided off of, right? Because Boomie holds on to those weapons, holds on to that stock. He can play so much more aggressively. Godly and Fozey both with the punish the same sig, and it actually saves Boomie a little bit longer. But he finally goes down. Now Sandstorm has to avoid the team combo, but he gets hit. Neutral into Sair. No! Fozey doesn't get the follow-up once again, and then does some friendly fire.
The wires are getting crossed for this red team. You're not seeing those consistent team combos that they likely have practiced. Instead, they're just kind of jumbling up on top of each other. Lots of spaghetti coming out, and the red team They're still holding on. I mean, Godly's deep red on his last stock, but there's still that small chance that they close this one out.
Yeah, Sandstorm nearing deep red at this point in time. Fozey not damaged enough for me to be too concerned for the red team. Sarah comes through, no alley-oop from Sandstorm, but he's going to go for the edge guard on Godly. Perhaps, I don't know, Boomie keeping Fozey off the guard. Okay, nice recovery. You have to be super damaged for Brutes to do that. Neutralite into, oh, he tried to dashboard weapon throw, but Sandstorm gets in the way. Falling dare. The weapon throw up. Can Fozey make it back? He can't. That's going to be game, and Boomie and Sandstorm bring it to game 5 here in winners round 1 against Godly and Fozey.
This is what we wanted. This is what we expected. 2 top caliber teams coming at each other in winners round 1, and now you've got a game 5 situation and potential for that upset you were talking about of Godly Fozey going down real early.
The stats on this is interesting though, because Sandstorm's damage was 287.
Yeah, that was real low.
And Boomie was like at 640 something, I think. Like that was, it's been quite the interesting dynamic for this team, because Shell has 8 force on the stance, right? So it's like he's not really hitting many attacks, but I guess he's doing what he needs to do to be able to enable Boomie, because as fast as Boomie's been getting knocked out, Boomie is destroying his opponents when he's putting out those attacks.
Here we go, game 5 situation, Godly Fozey. We start to see the spaghetti come out at the tail end of the last one. Hopefully they can clean up their plates, but damage being done, Fozey smacking Godly around again.
Yeah, nice side air there off the side of the stage. Fozey trying to burn Sandstorm on the landing, but Sandstorm just drifts away. Boomie getting so much damage on the Fozey, and Godly now deep in the red. Godly and Fozey might be going down into the elimination bracket at this rate, dude, because Godly has disappeared. Sidelight into neutral state, tries to go for the read once again, but Fozey's smartly dodging down now.
But Fozey's still not hitting those side air follow-ups consistently off of Godly's setup. Ensig, not enough to take down Boomie.
Yeah, hit that inner angle, like right above the blast, that sends you a little bit up and diagonal. Less force. Boomie does go down, however. And now they're focusing on over onto Sandstorm. But Sandstorm ends up just getting an attack, punishing Fozey for going for an early sword or spear downlight.
Yeah, and you saw Godly back away. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to challenge the 1v2. I'm going to just wait it out, wait for Fozey to come back. Comes in, gets the recovery. Sandstorm still living sidelight. It was all a bait for Godly to come in, hit the recovery, but Sandstorm is still living.
Yeah, Godly putting out these sidelights, trying to get some kind of combo starter here. Stuff recovery effects means Godly's done for, and that's going to be it. A dare. Godly doesn't drift into the stage, and Boomie with the ground pound punish means Godly's on his last stock. Sandstorm goes down to his second stock. Right? That is incredible coming out from the blue team. They have completely figured out how to fight Godly and Fozey, and Fozey has got to make a miracle happen at this point.
Yeah, this has to be the biggest clutch of all time if Godly and Fozey want to close out game number 5. Godly being on his last stock so stinking early is so bad for this red team, but Boomie comes in, starting to put that damage onto this final stock. The blue team knows if they take down Godly, this one's basically in the bag.
Godly has only been getting hit on these landings here. Fozey and Godly take center stage for a moment. Sidelight Nair, but he misses the Sidelight Nair, Duke. That's huge. Boomie ends up dodging out, gets the knock on to Fozey, and Fozey realizing how dire the situation there is, he adjusts his headset.
Last stocks here for this red team. The EU favorites might go down incredibly early. Godly takes one, but right side, Sandstorm really trying to take down Fozey. Ground pound doesn't hit. There's the Nair.
Oh, the Nair hits.
Gonna go for more.
Gets the ground pound. This would be huge. Another edge guard here. Sandstorm does sweat, but he dodges back to the stage, but no resources left available. Godly avoids his one ground pound. Hits Sandstorm. If they can get the 1v2 on the Boomie here, it is possible that they win. This is how they won game 1, Duke.
They need it, but Sandstorm's back. Godly trying to find the opening onto Boomie. Boomie goes for the wake-up dare.
Oh, and the recovery hits, falls to the down air. Boomie with the blasters, dashes off the platform. No, okay, the neutral light does hit, but Sandstorm's not in range to be able to get the follow-up. D-light recovery, and he drops the D-light recovery, and Boomie gets hit. The D-light down, and Fozey gets Boomie on the top. Sandstorm now in the 1v2 after an incredibly clutch turnaround. You drop one combo, and Fozey punishes you for it.
Deep.
The team combo, D-light, no! Drops
You can't afford that drop! You cannot afford that drop! Sandstorm gets a second shot at life.
He gets the side air. They're destroying his side air. And Fozey off of the drop is now in the 1v2. Is that it? The Sarah hits it. Sandstorm clutches it. 1v2 after Fozey almost brings it back, and they knock Godly and Fozey into the elimination bracket.
That was so clutch on all sides. So close, but Sandstorm hits the Sares they needed. And Boomie and Sandstorm knock Godly and Fozey into the elimination bracket in top 32.
I can't.
Taza.